We're at the Campbell House in Lexington ahead of the Breeders' Cup 2022, and I'm joined by American horse racing host and expert Christina, who works for FanDuel TV, and Sporting Life's Ben Linfoot. And this is the important part because we want your best bets. Future Stars Friday launches the Breeders' Cup. I'm going to get two. Should we get two? You can have more or less if you want, but let's just go for two. Seems like a nice number. Two of your best bets for Friday, Christina, are?
He'll be a short price, but I don't think they can beat Cave Rock in the juvenile on dirt, going 2 turns. He's 3 for 3. He's undefeated so far. He's a son of the late Arrogate, and when you watch his races, not only does he set a high cruising speed in the early stages, but he accelerates like a turf horse at the end of his races on dirt. It's a very rare quality for any racehorse, let alone a 2-year-old. So I think Cave Rock is going to take a lot of beating in the juvenile. I have a bit of a price in the juvenile fillies, though. Her name is You're My Girl. She's drawn post 2. She was actually supplemented to the Breeders' Cup. She wasn't originally nominated. To supplement a horse, you have to have a lot of confidence in them just to put up that kind of money to get into the race. She broke her maiden by 14 first time out. She came back and was second over a sloppy trek, and she's yet to go 2 turns, so there are some questions about her, but she's drawn inside. And in the juvenile races, we finish at the first wire, which means it's a very short stretch on dirt for these horses. Tactical speed is prevalent. I don't think she'll have any problem getting the 2 turns. I think she'll be in front as they turn for home, and I hope she can hold on. Okay,
so that's Cave Rock. Everyone I've spoken to in America is saying this horse is an absolute monster, and You're My Girl as well.
Yes.
Ben, your 2?
Dramatised in the juvenile turf sprint for Carl Burke. I just like this filly. Her Queen Mary win, where she was 3 lengths ahead of Love Reigns, is good form in the context of this race. When you look at Wesley Ward's rival shorter than her in the betting, I think she can uphold that form. And I know you've got a trick out of York Run last time, but that was over 6 furlongs. I think 5.5, fast ground. She's going to be tracking the pace, and she could be in a great position, just tracking the leaders. So I think Dramatised for me would be number 1.
Number 2.
Oh, you got number 2 as well?
Yeah.
Midnight Mile, Ollie, in the juvenile fillies turf for Richard Fahey. I just love this filly. This no filly. We were talking earlier about how relaxed she is. She's had the 2 runs. She's learning all the time. I think she'll thrive at the mile. She's in a good place. She's been working well. I think she's been underestimated.
Should we play a pick 4? We've picked alternating races. We just go right down the middle.
Oh,
Single it.
I like the sound of that.
Why don't we do that? Team pick 4.
Team pick 4.
Do we do that?
I'm up for it.
How much? You could. I mean, they're so.
Well, if you're singling all the way down, it's $1, but we could
sorry.
put a couple other horses on. We could just really go for it.
I didn't know that, actually. Sorry. There are so many different, actually, just very quickly and as an aside, you can have loads of different bets when you're here. Stateside, you've got the
You can.
pick
So you
4.
have the pick 4s, you have all turf, pick 3s and pick 4s. You have the pick 5s, you have a pick 6. But I would advise people, don't forget about the rolling pick 3s. In the Breeders' Cup, I think it's easy to sort of get carried away and try to reach for that pick 5 or reach for that pick 6 because of the big pools that are guaranteed. But if you have a horse that you really love, like a Dramatised or like a Cave Rock, if you can single in that race and spread in the other 2 legs, you can make a lot of money in those rolling pick 3s because they're such big pools as compared to other days of racing.
Well, for anyone watching this who is going racing, that's definitely worth bearing in mind. So those are Friday's best bets from Ben and Christina. We're going to turn our attentions now to Saturday's racing at the Breeders' Cup. What a race day to look forward to. It obviously features Flightline, the world's best racehorse in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but there's lots of local interest throughout, the likes of Highfield Princess, Nashwa. And you gave us 2 best bets for Friday's race day. You're going to give us 3 for Saturday, if that's all right. Last time on Fridays, you seemed to struggle to count to 2 by pausing after 1. So can you give me your 3 best bets for Saturday?
I've worked with you before, Ollie. You're just so good at the prompts that
When I went 2.
Yeah, exactly. I knew exactly what was going on. So I'm going to go 3 in a row. And I'm going to start with Nashwa in the filly mare turf. I think this is a great spot for her. 9.5 furlongs on fast ground. I think she's the best filly in the race. She's adaptable to different scenarios. She's got tactical speed, and she's one of the bankers for me under Holly Doyle. Nashwa in the filly mare turf. The next one would be Kinross under Frankie Dettori in the mile. He's got a wide draw to overcome, but I think he can come up with one of his magic tricks here, Frankie, in the mile. He does remind me of Space Blues Kinross. He's got that 7 furlong European speed. I think he can utilise that in the short straight and come over the top of them, beating modern games. So I'll probably play a little forecast on those 2 Euros. And finally, number 3.
You nearly forgot that.
We've got there.
Can't say Flightline. Nobody can say Flightline. I feel like it's not fair.
No, we can't say Flightline, but we can say Nation's Pride.
Right.
For Charlie Appleby, the banker of the meeting for me. He just screams Breeders' Cup turf horse in my eyes. The way that he's been campaigned since he disappointed in the Derby at Epsom, it's just been all about this race. He's come over to North America and been running at Saratoga, Belmont at the Big A, and I love his Saratoga form, the way it's worked out, with Annapolis winning and boosting it, and he's just got that 10 furlong speed against mile and a half horses that I think can be crucial. So my 3, Nashua, Kinross and Nation's Pride.
No prompts needed. You smashed it. Thank you very much. Good luck with them. What about your 3?
I'll try to be complimentary. I'll go for the dirt races. And I won't talk Flightline. Nest in the distaff. I think she'll be favored, but I think she's that good. She's 3 years old. Her 2 races at Saratoga this summer were 2 of the best of the entire meeting, and she just keeps getting better. Watched her train this week. And she makes her own trip. I think Society from the outside will be on the lead. Search Results will press her. Nest will be in the exact right spot off those 2 to take over as they turn for home. In the sprint, Jackie's Warrior will be a favorite, but I like Kamari in there. She's really fast right now. She's getting better, and at 5 years old, she's in her career best form, and again, this is home for her. Jackie's Warrior's had a lot of trouble in the Breeders' Cup. He attempted at 2 turns as a juvenile. He's not a 2-turn horse, so that was the excuse there. But then last year, he just sort of got cooked out on the front end, and I think that could happen to him again. There's a lot of fast horses in there. And to me, Kamari is just a little tougher. She's a little more durable, and she's physically as big as the boys. No one's going to push her around in that race. And then a horse that I don't think many people will be on is in the dirt mile, and that's Pipeline. Flavian Pratt, who's the jockey for Flightline, will be aboard Pipeline. He's drawn post 3. And the dirt mile, they don't run very often here at Keeneland at all. They actually changed the course prior to the Breeders' Cup several years back and started adding mile races. So we start pretty far down the stretch. It's the shortest run into the stretch of any race on the dirt. And they also finish at the first wire. So it's the shortest stretch run home as well. Inside speed is at a huge advantage. If there were other horses of his talent that were drawn inside, I'd lean that direction. But Pipeline has the speed, Pipeline has the draw, he's in good form, and he has the jockey.
Thank you very much for those. Whenever I've been racing in America and watched the racing coverage, they always put your selections, don't they, on the screen? And I promise you, Christina has such a good strike rate. I'm not putting the pressure on, but I advise everyone watching this to follow Christina because...
Double sort of graphic there, that'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
We'll have the selections up.
We'll play the pick 6 too. We've got 3 and 3.
Exactly.
Pick 4 on Friday, pick 6. Well, should we put the graphics there? What I was going to say is Christina is not only one of the loveliest people in world horse racing, he's also one of the hardest working and most knowledgeable. And we are so grateful for you coming over to join us because you've been doing 8 days straight of breakfast at the Breeders' Cup. You've got your honey and lemon to save the voice for the races.
They've got us on TikTok too. We're dancing, we're doing voiceovers, we're just doing everything we can to be entertaining.
And you're nailing it. Thank you so much. Honestly, we're so grateful for you coming over. And Ben, as always, it's a pleasure working with you.
And you, Ollie.